Welcome back to Harrelson Trumpets. I am going to show you 4 different Bravura trumpets and answer some of your questions. I've received a lot of questions on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, and I want to be able to answer all those for you guys. The trick is for me to remember every question you've asked. But almost every question that has been asked is, I guess, something you would expect to be asked about a trumpet that's so different. So first thing I want to answer is, there are photos of these trumpets on the Kickstarter page. They're not on our website yet. And if you want one, you have to go to Kickstarter to buy one. If for some reason you can't get that to work, then let us know and we can help you directly. We can actually sell these directly, but we prefer you go over it through the Kickstarter. There are various reasons, but essentially it just makes it easier if we put them all in one bunch. With that said, I think we've sold around 30 trumpets on Kickstarter so far, and we've also sold around 20 directly. So we're actually up to about 50 orders total. Some of those are for dealers. So we have dealers that are going to be carrying our trumpets that have never carried them before, and one dealer that has carried them before that might carry them in the future. So we will discuss all that. Here's the first answer to the first question that I've seen. This Bravura is in silver, and it was photographed without a third slide ring here. I didn't put one on yet, and I didn't because I wanted to show this in this video. Yes, it includes a third slide ring. All of the Bravuras will include a set of nylon rings, and they're fully adjustable, so we can loosen one small screw and we can move them wherever we need them to be. And then you can also take them off and put a different size on. For instance, this thumb ring is pretty big. It's actually bigger than my thumb, and I have a pretty big thumb. So, I could use a smaller one. So I can just loosen this up, take it right off the horn, and then put a new one on there and the right size and adjust it exactly where I want it. And then I can tighten it up and it's good to go. And that's the same for the first, the third, and the pinky ring. Now, a related question. This is the model, the actual trumpet that I've been playing the most. This was the first Bravura that had all the bells and whistles. It has the tracking on it in the tuning slide. It's got the extreme protection on the tuning slide and on the bell crook. And this was the main model for the Kickstarter in brass. We photographed it before we put the tracking and the extreme protection on, and then after to show both models. And this one was an earlier prototype. As you can see, the thumb ring is a smaller size. It fits me just fine. And the third slide is just fine as well. I typically hold like this, so I would pull this third slide ring in. But for all the photos, I put it out here because that looks normal to most of you. So I'm just trying to hit every question that I've seen. This pinky ring is not the final ring. The one that you saw a second ago is. So the one on the silver horn on the top is the correct pinky ring, and this one was an earlier prototype that had 2 screws. The finished one has 1 screw. The final versions of some of these are not done. I'll show you, like, here's the pinky ring rest. That one is not complete because we have to move things around a little bit just to get everything lined up exact, and that's why I do so much prototyping, and that's why I spend so much money and time doing all the different variations and getting them out into people's hands so I get that feedback. But this is not the final version, and I cannot put the final version on this horn, and that's simply because the lead pipe is an earlier edition as well, and the lead pipe will not hold the finished version. So you'll see some things that aren't not 100% complete, and that's simply because that's how the process works. And that's also why we don't start delivering for the Kickstarter until July, because that gives us all of June to put all the new parts that are the final ones, we have those figured out, into production and have them made in time to deliver your horns. Okay, so finger rings, that's what they look like. That's why you see some differences for those of you who noticed. And like I said, they do include 3. You'll get to tell us what size your hands are, so then we'll know which size finger rings to put on there when you order in Kickstarter. The other big question that I've seen numerous times is, how do you order on Kickstarter? Because a lot of people have never used it. And even though we've had, I think, 10 or 11 campaigns on Kickstarter, and I think maybe like 1,200 of you have actually purchased something from us through Kickstarter before, you may not feel comfortable signing up for Kickstarter, or you feel like it's a hassle or something else. You can wait until June and then you can order. Unfortunately, the price goes up if you do that, but they will be available to order direct in June. If you're having serious issues with Kickstarter and you want to get in on it now, contact us and we'll help you get it set up. But to use Kickstarter is actually fairly simple. You just need to create the normal login and password that you do on any other website. You need to enter your credit card into Kickstarter. Make sure it says HTTPS, which means it's a secure website that's registered. And if it says that, if you follow one of the links I put out there, then you're going to see that. And basically, when you go to that website, you enter your credit card information and you push that you want to pledge for a certain level, then you can simply do that, but your credit card will not be charged until the Kickstarter campaign ends. So this is a big question I've seen multiple times. Hey, are you taking payment plans? I don't have the money today, but I'll have it next week, that kind of thing. If you have the money on your credit card on May 30th, that's the day that it ends, that's the day it'll be charged. If for some reason you signed up, you pledged $2,000 for a trumpet, and the money wasn't available on your credit card and it didn't go through, that's not a big deal. Actually, Kickstarter will try it again a week and 2 weeks later. So they actually try 3 times total if you do not have the funds on your card at that very moment. So I'm answering that question because I've had a few people ask that specific question. So there's the answer. Nobody gets charged until May 30th, unless you're ordering directly from us. And then of course, you would get charged sooner. So, that's not the most common way of doing it. Most of the people that order direct from us are Bravura ambassadors. And let's jump into that for a second. If you want to try a Bravura trumpet and you don't have the means to come to Denver or you don't have the time, then you will be able to try them in different cities around the world. And most of them will be in the US, but we'll have some in other countries as well. And that is through the Bravura Ambassador Program. And what that means is that some of you will be getting a Bravura sooner than others, or with special configurations sooner than others. Just depends on when you order and when you get accepted into the Ambassador Program, but it'll be built for you. You'll get a discount just like you would on Kickstarter to be part of the Ambassador Program. And what happens there is the Bravura ambassadors actually will spend some time setting up events in their local areas, allowing people to see their horn, to try it, to check it out. In some cases, you may even get to try the horn overnight. That would be something that we arrange with the ambassador who's doing that. So I just want you to know you will be able to try them in other cities, and I plan on doing a couple road trips around the country this year. So if you want to try a whole set of Bravuras, let's say you're thinking maybe your local music store would want to get in on becoming a dealer, because that's something we're offering on the Bravura model. And we don't offer that on all of our models. Then if you know those people or you are those people and you want to set up an event, then contact us and contact the music store and let us know, and we can coordinate that. And I can maybe drive out to your city, because I plan on hitting a lot of the country this year. And I'll probably do several different shorter road trips to hit different regions. So I'd like to get out there and meet you guys. As a lot of you know, I've been out all over the country and all over the world doing clinics and master classes and showing horns for 30 years. I have not done a lot of that in the last 10 years. So I'm gonna get back on the road, start doing that again, and I'll actually start playing again too. I started practicing recently, so that it's all new stuff now. But if you want to try a set of Bravuras with different lead pipe and bell configurations in your hometown, and you want to set something up, it could be through your music store, it could be you personally, it could be your college bands or a high school or whatever else. If you want to combine that with me giving a master class or a clinic to a group of trumpet players, whether they're students or pros or anybody, we can work all that stuff out. I am getting back on the road, and I'd love to show you guys these horns. I'm just having so much fun with them, and I want you to have them in your hands and get to feel them and experience them and see why I spent so much time developing this new model. And the reason why is because I want you to feel like your playing and your ability goes up almost instantly without having to drop a ton of money. And I know I have a reputation of being the guy who builds really cool stuff that's really expensive, and everyone says, oh, I wish I could afford it. And also the person who builds really cool stuff that maybe weighs a lot. I've worked really hard for my entire career to bring the weight down and the price down, but the innovation's up, and you just can't have it all. The Bravura is the first horn where really the price point is so low compared to our other instruments. And at the same time, the features are there. The efficiency's there. We've got amazing resonance on this. If you're playing on a standard Bach or Yamaha or a Schilke, then you've probably never played anything as resonant as the Bravura. It will make you feel like a better player the very first time you play it. I'll play a little bit in this video, but the video is really to answer your questions. But one of the questions I've seen again and again is, hey, how does it sound compared to other standard horns like Bachs and Yamahas and Schilkes? Unfortunately, I have none. I have no used horns in our shop that are not Harrelson's. So I cannot do those comparisons. However, this summer or late summer probably, we'll probably offer trades again, and we'll probably get some in, and then we can do videos like that. But you could really just come right here to Denver, visit us. I'm happy to pick you up at the airport, bring you to the shop, give you a tour, and spend some time with you trying out horns, and if you need a mouthpiece or anything else you want to check out, we can do all of that, and you can bring whatever you're playing and compare it. You know, we really encourage that. We always have, and it's a great way to know what you're getting, is to compare it to what you've been playing in the past. Okay, so the question on this horn, this version is red and black nylon. The first couple weeks that I started mentioning nylon, people said, oh man, you're using some kind of plastic, it's going to be terrible, that won't sound right. I've seen more bad comments than this, but not recently. So many comments were just purely negative, and I think that's just what happens to people when they see something very different, very new. It's easy to go down the rabbit hole of, man, that's got to be terrible, right? It's not. It's actually really freaking amazing. I'm not saying that because I built it. I'm saying it because I was surprised too. When I started prototyping in nylon and trying things in nylon, my first thought was, I don't know how good this is going to turn out. And I've done a ton of 3D printing over the last 10 years, trying different technologies, and I did not think nylon would hold up. However, everything I read and everything I heard from the manufacturers of 3D printers were saying nylon is the future for 3D printing, at least some piece of the future, right? So we created our pocket valves a few years ago out of nylon. And again, I should have brought some in here, but this is nylon. The thing about nylon is it's incredibly durable. It's incredibly strong. Depending on which type you get, it has a little bit of flex to it, so it's not going to break if you stretch it too much, although that probably wouldn't happen on one of our trumpets. And the impact resistance is really, really good. And if you don't believe that, watch my impact test, torture test of the Bravura bracing and lead pipe. That's another video that I have on YouTube right now. It's a little bit long, so you can, on YouTube, you can set it to faster speed if you want to get through it faster. You know, you can set it to 1.5 times speed or 2 times speed. But there's some really key moments in that video where I take a ball peen hammer, not a small one, a real one, and I attempt to smash a lot of the bracing and even a bell crook. I took a bell crook from an actual trumpet bell, and I put the nylon on there, and I just attempted to smash it. And I'm talking, it took over 100 hits, maybe even over 200 hits. The video is kind of long, but I smacked it a lot before eventually I got something to crack, and I never got it to chip. And then eventually I broke one of the other braces by putting it in a vise in a scenario where you would never have that on a trumpet. It was this brace right here, and I literally just hit it as hard as I could with a hammer until eventually it did break. What I'm trying to say here is you couldn't do that with a trumpet that has brass parts. The durability factor is huge. So if you're looking for a trumpet that has the extra durability, whether you're looking for the bell crook and tuning slide bracing, or not bracing, but protection or not, the other braces are extremely durable. Can you break them? Yes. Would it take a hammer? Yes, it takes a hammer. So I just want to mention that I was against nylon. However, I've been playing on the Nylon now for, well, as long as I've been making these prototypes, and now the final version. And the Nylon is really the best performing material that I can use to bring the price down, increase resonance, increase efficiency, meaning that you're going to put less energy in and get more sound out. Those are the things we're trying to achieve here. I'm trying to make you feel really good when you pick up your horn and play it. I don't want it to be the type of thing where you pick up the horn you've been playing for years and you're like, oh, I need to put a lot of effort in this. I want you to pick it up from the very first day when you unwrap it out of the box, or you come pick it up and you play it and you're like, it's so easy to play. That's what I wanted, and that's what you're getting, because we've engineered it to do that. We brought the price down because we engineered it in a way that's 3D printed and can go together without solder. And that freaks a lot of people out too. That goes to the next series of questions. Okay, so I say it's durable, I say it's not going to break. What if it breaks? Well, that's a great question. What if you dropped your entire horn and you smashed the bell, and the bell needs to be taken off and replaced? Can that be done? Yes, it can be done. Is it really difficult? No, it's easier than replacing any bell ever before. And I'm not kidding when I say it's extremely easy. It's not the kind of thing I would have you do at home. You'd either send it in to us, or we would work with your repair tech just over the phone, giving them some information on how to do it. But yes, this bell actually, if it was completely smashed and it had to be replaced, it can be taken off and a new one can be put on without any solder. So you do not have to use a torch. All that's really required is some silicone adhesive that we would provide, because it's a very special high-end version of that, and some instructions. So yes, those things can be fixed and replaced. If you had other issues, I'm trying to think of other things that could be really bad, and you would think that you need to take your whole horn apart besides the bell. The lead pipe is not going to break. But let's say somehow you actually busted one of these braces, like you just shattered the brace. I would guess that would take a multi-story fall off of a building onto something hard for that to happen, based on my testing, or maybe down a flight of stairs without a case. But let's say it did happen, right? And let's say we had to replace one of these two top braces. Can it be done, and is it going to be expensive? It can be done. It will not be expensive. You're just going to have to buy a new brace and put the new brace on and reassemble it. Again, I'd prefer to do it for you because I invented it. I created the process. It'd be faster and easier and probably less expensive if I do it for you. But if a repair tech somewhere else, say in Spain or Japan, needs to do it for you, yes, it can be done, and we can ship those parts out. And they'll be exactly like the original parts that you had on your horn originally. So that's the repair questions. I wanted to get that out of the way. Another question is, this horn has been photographed for the Kickstarter campaign, and people have asked me, why is there the protection on the bell crook and not on the tuning slide? Well, if you read closely, it's true. When you buy the X version, which means extreme durability package, so it's the bell crook protection and the tuning slide protection, it should be on here. You can actually choose if you want it on the tuning slide or the bell crook or both. The package we're offering on Kickstarter is for both. So technically it should be on here. The reason it isn't is because when I designed it and I printed it and I set it all up and I did multiple versions of this, I screwed up the design slightly. And when I went to put it on these horns, it broke because I made a mistake on the engineering side. And because we don't have the printer in-house yet, which we should have this summer, I have to wait 1 to 2 weeks to get the parts. I simply don't have the parts. They should be here early next week. And when we have them, you will see the the tuning slide and bell crook protection the way they are without the tracking. This one has the tracking. The version without the tracking, it just removes that tracking capsule in here and it just covers this whole outside. It's still the same durability that you'd find in that video I showed you. And I have tested it. It's just, I made some tweaks to make it better and I accidentally made it worse. And now I have to go back. I already did. I already went back and redesigned it. I just don't have the parts yet. And then also, you can get the durability package for the semi-round and the round tuning slide, and you can order both. However, I highly recommend you order both when you order the trumpet. I'm trying to answer every question. I know this video goes real deep into all those specifics. The Kickstarter platform wasn't designed for me to give you every single option. It just becomes too complex on their website. So when you get your survey after the campaign has ended, so in early June, I'll send everyone out basically a questionnaire about your order through Kickstarter. And when you get that, you'll have the option to maybe choose one or both of those if you want them, and to choose an extra tuning slide. It's not an option on the Kickstarter right now. That'll be an option we offer later. It's just easier to offer it later. So all that to say, you could get an extra tuning slide with or without the extra durability package and have 2 tuning slides. You could have 2 round, one with it and one without, or you could have a semi-round and a round. Maybe one has it, one doesn't, or neither does, or both do. Whatever you want. See how it becomes complicated? If I offered all of that on Kickstarter, then the guys at Kickstarter actually will call me and they'll say, your Kickstarter is too complicated, we won't approve it. That's why I didn't do that. So, okay, other questions people have asked. The standard Bravura Trumpet includes Amato type water keys. It does not include Saturns. So if you want those, you need to press upgrade to get those. And a lot of people have asked, getting back to ordering, how to order all those different things. Well, when you put there's not really a cart system, but on Kickstarter, if you say you want to pledge for the Bravura, say it's the Bravura X or the Bravura V, right? V means the VGR system, which is what's on all of these other horns. So that's the VGR. Let's say you choose that one. When you choose it, then there's another page that's going to show you all the options that are included and all the options you can add on that are not included. And things like Saturn water keys are, maybe they might not be included, then you can add them. Same with the finger rings. We actually have stainless steel finger rings in place of the nylon as an option. You can upgrade to those. The price to upgrade is the price you see on the add-on page. So I'll be showing videos and photos of the stainless steel finger rings. I have not done that yet, simply because there's been a lot of work to do already. But we do have them, and I have them on one of the other horns. What were the other questions people asked? Oh, one of the questions was, hey, can I put this trumpet into an ultrasonic cleaner? Is it going to hurt anything? No, it's not going to hurt anything. I will say I don't recommend ultrasonic cleaners for trumpets, period, because I've seen too many trumpets that were damaged by ultrasonic cleaners. Now, repair people always want to push that technology. Do you want ultrasonic cleaning? It's easy to have a line item, say it's $50. It's more clean than when they came in, and it's better. The reason they do that is because it's a lot easier for them to do a chem clean or an ultrasonic cleaning than to scrub it all out and do it by hand. And I get why they do it, because they have a lot of repairs and a lot of cleaning. However, if you want your trumpet to last as long as possible with as little wear and damage as possible, don't do chem cleans and don't do ultrasonic cleaning. Those two things will most certainly degrade some part of your horn over time, if not even the first time. I have actually seen trumpets that went into the ultrasonic cleaner and were left in there too long and came out with braces completely broken. And in some cases, holes in lead pipes and tuning slides. And I'm not exaggerating. If you talk to a reputable repair tech who uses ultrasonic cleaning, they're going to tell you that if they don't set it right and they don't take it out at the right amount of time, there could be damage, especially if the horn has been used for a number of years. The older it gets, the more porous the parts, the more likely you're going to damage it. Are you going to damage a Bravura? Well, the parts that are just like other trumpets, yeah, you still could. You can break solder joints with ultrasonic cleaners on any instrument. I don't think you're going to do any damage to the lead pipe because it is stainless steel. And this 316 stainless steel is extremely corrosion resistant, so I don't think that the chemicals are going to bother it. It's very unlikely. With that said, if you want to destroy one, I'm sure you can find the right acid and dip it in there long enough and you could do that. But that would destroy almost anything. So anything metal. But yeah, you can use an ultrasonic cleaner. I just don't recommend them in general. Another big question I've seen again and again is, hey, I play lead in a big band and I also play at church. Is the Bravura going to fit? Is that what I want, or what do I need to choose to make sure that that works for those two situations? Well, the Bravura is available, just like all other Harrelson trumpets, as the standard model, which would be a lead pipe 1 and a bell 1, or a custom configuration. The custom configuration gives you the ability to tell me exactly what you want, how you want to play it, where it's going to be performed, and then I can build it with the correct lead pipe and bell to fit your needs. And I don't need to go through every lead pipe and bell variation with you in this video. Just know I have fit thousands of people with custom configurations, the correct lead pipe and bell to fit their playing preferences. And I would do that with you. On the Kickstarter campaign, it is $100 to add that option, to have the phone call, and then that includes the price of 6 different lead pipe options and 6 different bell options. There are other bells you could even pay another $100 or so for and get even more options. And I don't like to nickel and dime people, but the truth is on the Bravura line, the introductory price is so incredibly low. I do have to charge for some of those extra things. So if you're thinking, oh, I want a 3RX bell because I want the extra big diameter and the red brass and the bigger taper because I play big, warm jazz combo type playing, then yeah, I'm going to charge you extra for that. But you don't have to choose that. If you just choose a 3R, then that $100 consulting fee to talk to me and figure out what we're going to do exactly and build that custom configuration, that'll include the upgrade to that 3R bell. It's only when you get into the X bells I might charge you more, and that's because they cost more to make. Let's see, what other questions have I seen about that? So essentially, if you tell me exactly what kind of performing you're doing, then I will help you get this set up correct. And if you want the best scenario possible, then I would recommend getting the VGR system. That's the Venturi gap receiver. And essentially, this is an invention that we created many years ago. We've used it on almost all Harrelson trumpets for the past more than a decade. And this is something that we CNC machine here in the shop. There are these little inserts that essentially change the characteristics of each lead pipe. So when we choose your lead pipe and bell, we've got that configuration down. Now we can fine tune the impedance to match your oral cavity and the way that you play. And essentially all that means is that we learn how to use this system. We put the right insert in there and we play it. And if for some reason it doesn't feel right in a certain register, or it doesn't give you the right airflow, or you're not resonating as much as possible, then we adjust the parameters of that insert. That's something we teach you. It's not complicated. And you get one set of inserts with your instrument when you upgrade to the VGR. So that's another important piece to know. I'll mention as well, when the Bravura is done on Kickstarter, then the custom configuration will go up in price. I think it's normally $500 for that option to choose your lead pipe and bell and get whichever ones you want. And the VGR system, I think, is $300 as an upgrade on Kickstarter. It's actually $395 normally. So again, after the Kickstarter, that will go up and all the pricing will go up. So right now you can pick up the standard model, which is actually this one, for $19.95 on Kickstarter. On June 1st, it'll go up to $32.95. That is $1,300 extra. That's a huge difference. That's why we call it introductory pricing. The whole point here is to encourage you to order it soon, before the end of the month of May, so that we can get all of them built in one bigger batch and get them out to all of you. And the truth is, the Kickstarter is kind of like a pre-launch for us. Even though we have everything finalized, that's our way of getting like maybe 100 trumpets out into the world all at once within like a 2-month period, so that then you can all start to experience it, share it with your friends and your colleagues and your students and your teachers and whoever else. And then that will start to build up more momentum. And people will be willing to pay $3,300 for this. I know for a fact they will, especially after you play it. And if you got the deluxe model with the tracking system in it, and the durability package and the VGR and the custom configuration, it could be well over $4,000. The Rumors and Dreams is the most comparable thing that we've had to that, and the Rumors and Dreams was around $5,000 with everything, with all the options. So it's still a much better deal, and it has a lot of upgrades Rumors and Dreams did not have, especially the stainless steel lead pipe and the fact that it's even lighter than those. The last question I want to address, and if I missed anything, just write your question in the comments and I'll try to hit it again in the next video. Colors. A lot of people have asked, well, what colors can I get and what configurations are out there? The colors are available in any color. And this one I just made in red and black because I thought it looked cool. And the way I designed this was I actually printed these in white nylon and then I dyed them. So the dye like penetrated way inside there because we use a pressure system to put the dye into the parts. And so they're gonna stay that color. And then we put a UV coating, protective coating over top of everything. So you can take it out in the sunlight and everything else and it'll be protected. But I just chose black and red because I thought it looked cool. Well, we've had 3 people order black and red already, just calling us directly. So for some reason, that's the color combination people like, but we can do other colors. I have a green one that I'll be showing next week. And I think I did one in gray. But the cool thing is, we've been researching and looking for a solution to do color without having to dye. And there's actually an HP printer that only prints this type of nylon, and it's specifically designed to do color, and we intend on buying that printer. So I don't know when that will happen. It's a very expensive purchase, but hopefully in the next few months we'll own that printer and all the things that are needed to be able to run it here in the shop. And that printer will allow us to take any photo or design. Let's say you have like a cool pattern or geometric design, or you've seen that hydro dipping where they put cool things on trumpet bells or on trumpet mutes. We won't need hydro dipping. We can literally just program it into the printer and it will color print the nylon exactly where you need it. So let's say you wanted your school colors, or let's say you wanted a tribute horn to Louis Armstrong or New Orleans or New York City or wherever. You could design it yourself and send me the information, and then I can arrange it so it fits on the bracing. Or let's just say you want it to be checkerboard black and white. It can do that too. So the whole purpose of this is to be able to further customize your horn, make it really unique to you, and not break the bank. So colors, as far as we can tell, are going to be unlimited. You will be able to print any color combination if you choose the color package. And I don't know for sure what pricing will look like after the Kickstarter. I guessed on what it would cost to choose it during the Kickstarter, before we got all the quotes and before we got the quotes on the machines. So that price is probably lower than our cost. If you're thinking of color, I would say just upgrade it on the Kickstarter, because if you wait till after, it might be a lot more expensive. And that was my mistake. I'll lose a little on it, you'll gain a little, we'll all be happy. I promised to play on these. Let's do that real quick. All right, so I'm playing on Spectratone Blue. I had a lot of questions and quite a bit of criticism on the recordings in the videos. I'll tell you, most of the recordings were done on a cell phone. And the reason I did that was because I don't have a lot of high-end recording equipment set up here. I have that at home. And I wanted to make the video a very honest rendition of what this is like with just a regular, inexpensive microphone in your camera. So some people were just very, very harsh and critical of either my playing or my intonation or the recording itself. I have pretty thick skin. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I know I played out of tune on some stuff. I know I'm not the world's best trumpet player. I also know that that's not what I do for a living. What I do is build horns that you're going to love to own and play. That's my role in this world. It's not to be a great performer. So don't listen to that and think, well, he sucked, I'm not going to buy that horn. If that's the reason you buy a horn, then you should probably just turn this video off and go buy something that's endorsed by, somebody who's playing on a Yamaha or Bach or something else. You're not going to get that here. My goal here is to give you the things you ask for. I want you to feel really good when you pick up your horn and you play it. And I'm not going to fool you into buying a horn because I paid someone to play it for you. You'll see all our different people playing on our horns, and they're like Grammy award-winning players who've recorded thousands of recordings on commercials and movies and everything else. There's tons of great players on our horns. But the truth is, those great players would sound great on a lot of different horns. We all know great players can play on a lot of different things. The reason they may choose one brand or another can vary, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's the most honest way to promote your product. It's the most profitable way. I could hire lots of people and say, just make this sound amazing so everyone buys one. But what I want is the honesty in the advertising. I'm not looking to sell millions of horns. I'm looking to sell 200 a year. We're the ones that create the custom solutions. So let me play this a little bit. This trumpet, I have to look every time, is lead pipe 1, bell 1 XLT. This was not in any of the recordings. All the recordings were done on a different trumpet, and I'll show you that one in a minute. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each one, and I don't know that you'll hear a huge difference between each one. The next one is the blue Bravura, and this is lead pipe 1, bell 10 LT. This one is what I recorded all the recordings on. So anything you heard me play in the last few videos and the official Kickstarter videos was on this trumpet. A 10 LT is a really big wide taper, and it's lighter. So it produces a different type of sound than you'd normally hear. It has, I would describe it as a bigger, more mature sound that is not punchy and bright like a standard trumpet bell. And I built this specific horn with this lead pipe and bell because that's what I was looking for, was that big, warm sound. Because it's an LT, that means it's lighter, it's thinner, and it can light up if you push it harder. This is a big mouthpiece. That was a big horn. It sounds big. I believe most of the people that didn't like the sound of it are used to hearing Bach 37s and Yamaha Zenos, which in my world are a little bit, brighter and maybe tinny and weak sounding compared to something that big. Those words are descriptors. They're not criticisms of other horns. I build horns that sound like Bach and Yamaha too. And if you want that, just choose bell 1. Now this one is lead pipe 1, bell 10. So this one is like the last bell, but it's not thinner. It's the standard weight. So again, it just projects more than the last one, but a big warm sound. And again, especially with Spectratone Blue, because it is a big warm sounding mouthpiece. And then the last one I'm going to play is actually the first one I built. Lead pipe 1, bell 10 LT again. The exact same bell as the blue one. I will have some video sessions where I do play these and I spend time on them. I'm not going to do that until I have a lead pipe 1 and a 3 ready, because I want you to hear all the variations. The 1XLT, the first one here, is closest to what you're normally used to hearing if you're playing on a standard trumpet. And then the others were quite a bit different because they're so much bigger. And that's really an example of how we can, just by choosing different lead pipe and bell tapers, completely change the experience. But what I want you to take away from all of these videos is that you can ask and get exactly what you want, so you have the best experience for yourself. And the features in terms of how it was built, how it's higher efficiency and more resonant is the important key takeaway here. And of course, how we right here in Denver, Colorado, are building each one for each of you. It's not a mass-produced process where we have a factory and everyone's just pounding them out and punching a card. That's not what we do here. We're here to serve you and to make it the best experience we possibly can. And that's why we invite you to come visit us in Denver, Colorado. Summer is coming, and now's a great time to schedule your visit. Keep in mind, we get a ton of visitors in the summertime. So if you want a shop tour, you want to spend some time with us, maybe you're thinking you want to get lunch together, or you need a ride from the airport, please call us and schedule your visit, whether you're flying in or driving through with your family or whatever it might be, or maybe you've got a group of trumpet players and you're coming from Tennessee or something, and you just want to visit the shop. Whatever you're doing, make sure to call and make an appointment first, because we have had some instances where people showed up here on a Saturday and we weren't open, or we were double booked and we couldn't do as much as we wanted. We don't want that to happen to you. Our number is 303-657-2747, and you can call us with any questions on the Bravura or scheduling a time to visit. The last thing I want to say is the G5 Summit and the G4 Summit, we're making a lot of progress on those. The G5 release is pushed back a little bit, and that's simply because the Bravura was actually part of the prototyping process for the G5. The G4 is almost completely done, and those of you who have ordered them, you will be hearing from me soon, because we will be doing the final assembly and finishing and shipping those orders out. And I'm excited just to get those in your hands as well. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, let me know. And if you are on the fence of ordering a Bravura and you want to have a phone call, just let me know. I want to help you get into the best horn possible. And like I said, through the month of May, this is the #1 time you want to order this horn, because you're going to be saving at least $1,300 or even more, depending on which options you choose. And I did that intentionally to help those of you who have asked for a less expensive Harrelson trumpet. I'm giving you all the quality, all the engineering, and all the maximum resonance and efficiency that I can at that price point. And when you compare this to a standard off-the-shelf pro horn, there's not going to be any comparison. You're going to know there's a huge difference between the two. And if you're not sure about that, just come visit us and play them. Thank you again. I'll see you guys next time.